Welcome to the Mark Nelson podcast. The first podcast this evening will be about interabled relationships. And we do have quite a few questions about interabled relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody brought up a different type of relationship, and it's pretty agreeable.
So we're going to start off with the definition of interabled relationship, which is from Google. Hope that helps. So an interabled relationship refers to a romantic partnership where one partner has a disability and the other does not. So in this case, I have the disability, he does not. I am disabled. I'm on disability. I have several disabilities. My main one, though, that I'll share with you is I don't have a pituitary. Granulotoma hypophysitis is the name of it. So basically, I am on a bunch of medications and to supplement what the pituitary does, but it's of course not the same. And so my body, I have arthritis and osteoarthritis, and my body doesn't produce calcium, so that's why I have to walk with a cane, and I'm in so much pain everywhere. So that's the synopsis. If you have any questions about that, please let us know. Or if you want to know more details, we will share with you.
That's right. And my name is Matt Nelson, and this is
Victoria Mork.
I started being interested in working with disabled people back in the mid-1990s when I was in college. I worked for the Milwaukee School District as a paraprofessional, as I do now, but also in the summertime for disabled people during the summer school sessions. I have thought about doing it again this summer, but I'm still investigating and seeing whether or not I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I have been looking for a relationship for a long time. And,
As have I.
And we basically found each other where?
Facebook dating. So my question to you is, what made you want to date somebody that has a disability?
Well, like I said, I've worked with people that have a disability, all sorts of disabilities, and I thought about it this week. I think really we get more respect from people with disability than we do with people that don't seem to have a disability.
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe that anybody with a disability is capable of love and also deserves love.
I agree. So I obviously was just looking for someone. It was difficult for me because I always feel nervous about like holding somebody back, or because I can't walk long distances or things. I was worried, so I did put it in my bio, like, hey, I'm disabled, just so you know. But I just kind of prayed and let God find me the right person, and he did. And so thank goodness that Matt's understanding, and your partner should be understanding. I mean, you should be with somebody that understands and, isn't not nice about it. But I did want to mention also that, at least in my experience, the word disability tends to have a negative connotation. We were actually talking with his sister-in-law yesterday about this. And she said, Kate said, that she thinks it should be differently abled instead of disabled, which I completely agree. So I think we're going to call it differently abled from now on instead of saying disabled, if we can remember.
Yep, something to get used to. And please know, even though I'm with somebody with a disability and I've been working with people with disabilities all these years, I'm still learning. So sometimes I make mistakes of doing something I shouldn't be doing. Oops. But, we all learn.
We're all learning and growing every day. And if you make a mistake, own up to it. And that's all you can do.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
As most people are probably wondering, where did you go for your first date? Well, she lives in Racine County, and I live in Milwaukee County, and we decided to go and check out the Wind Point Lighthouse in Wind Point, Wisconsin. And I don't remember what else we did, but we did go
I
to the
think-
lighthouse.
I think that's all we did. We just spent 2 hours there or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it started off as a friendship because I didn't want to date somebody that far away, 30 minutes away from where my family and I lived. But God had other plans, and so I just decided we're just going to be friends to start off with. And then feelings started to happen, and here we are. Almost 6. Tomorrow is 6 months, actually.
That's right. Tomorrow's 23rd. My days are off a little bit. But how I basically reacted toward disabilities, I just took them as they were, and just basically, as we've talked about, seeing right through it. She's a human being, and we're all the same, regardless if you have a disability or not. So it's something we learn about all the time, and we just accept each other for who we are.
Exactly, and that's important, I think. It's little things to me that show that you understand what I'm going through. Like the apartment building we live at kind of has a long, like from the parking lot, you have to kind of walk a far away. Or for me, it's far. For him, it's not far. And that's, for a typical person, it wouldn't be a far way. But for me, because I'm in so much pain and I walk with a cane and it's hard for me to walk, it is a long way. So he'll drop me off at the front door every single time without question, which just shows that he understands what I'm going through. And he doesn't, sometimes he'll be like, oh, I noticed you're feeling better today. Like, are you up for walking? And I'll say yes or no. And then we'll go from there. And no judgment, no making me feel bad, because I feel bad enough as it is already,
Right.
So.
Why did I want to get into a relationship? Well, as I just said earlier, we were basically just looking for someone to get into a relationship with, and everybody is deserving of love, and everybody is the same, really.
And not everybody is understanding, unfortunately. I've experienced that. So I decided to put it in my profile that I am differently abled. I put disabled, but I didn't know at the time. So that it wasn't a shock that I can't walk long distances and, things like that. And I have to rest a lot, and there's so many other things. But so I think it's important, if you are wanting to find someone and you're disabled or differently abled, that you put that in your bio. I mean, you're going to find the right one. There's somebody out there for everybody. You just have to be patient. So that's what I did, and here we are. And it's been a great 6 months / traumatic for me. I lost 2 of my nephews in the last 6 months, which has been really difficult, and he's been by my side through all of it. In fact, 1 week after our first date, we went to my one nephew's funeral. So it's been, I tell him all the time, I don't think I would have made it through without him. And we have another one less than a week from today. So
yeah, it's a little early in the it's a little early with the with the shock that we're all going through. We know he's in a better place, and he's not in here right now, but we have basically
adopted.
We have adopted
My one nephew, Alex, who recently passed away, his cat, Samuel. And he's been such a joy to our lives for the most part. Now, last night he kept us up till 2:30 a.m.
Something like that.
He wanted to play. He was like, "Come on, let's go, let's play, guys." And we're like, "No."
Yeah.
But so we're trying to see the positive in that, because he is such a loving cat.
Oh yeah.
And I'm hoping it'll help me get through this.
Yeah, I think it's helping, but it's very slow, and it will be slow.
Yeah, and not only that, of losing 2 family members, but he had a major heart surgery that was an emergency. Thankfully, I was here and he wasn't alone. Oh my goodness! And then I was in the hospital 2 times. So it's been traumatic 6 months for sure. But I think we've gotten through it with each other by our side.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, and we well, we both have talked about it, and honestly, we think that God is just testing us to see if we are
Meant to be.
yeah, and it looks like we are,
Mm-hmm.
and
I would agree.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
One day at a time, sometimes 1 second at a time. That's all you can do.
mm-hmm,
But here we are, we're telling you our story, and that's what the point of this podcast is to tell you our story, and we're going to do that once a week,
mm-hmm,
hopefully. We did get a bunch of questions that
Mhm.
we are going to go over now.
mm-hmm.
I'm just going to start from the top. Shout out to our family and friends that commented and asked questions. We're going to start with the questions on TikTok. This one is from his mom. It says, do you feel you get the support you need from society, as an example, friends, doctor, family? So I'm going to start. Absolutely. Well, friends and family, I would say absolutely. I feel very supported by my friends and family. Doctors, not so much. I feel like they just don't listen to me. Or the biggest issue I have, this is my biggest complaint, is I have a list this long of things that are wrong with me that week or whatever, but I can only give them my top 3 answer, or my top 3 things that are wrong with me. And so some of the things never get discussed ever. And then it becomes a big issue, and they're like, how long has this been going on? And I'm like, well, a month or 2. And they're like, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, this is why. It's very frustrating. I would have to have an appointment every single week in order to discuss all the things that are going on with me. And unfortunately, that just doesn't work. So I'm trying to find a set of doctors that listen to me and understand. And I mean, we recently went to a doctor, an endocrinologist, which is the doctor for my pituitary, or my lack of pituitary. And he basically told me that what I'm going through is not possible. He said, there's no way that's true. They lied to you. And I'm like, first of all, I trusted my doctors that diagnosed me in the beginning. It was a family friend, actually. And so for him to say that, and then one of my medications, he thought I didn't need, which Matt can attest to this, I definitely need it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not listening to me. And that's all I want from a doctor, is just to listen to me. So I'm really struggling to find that. And I know that's a common thing that everyone goes through, is finding someone that will listen to them, understand what they're going through, and try to figure things out slowly. So I'm in the process of that. I was diagnosed with this illness when I was 17 years old. It started with really bad headaches. They thought I had spinal meningitis, and then did some more tests and realized I don't have a pituitary, and I have basically a mass in its place. It's not like cancerous tumor, but it is a tumor. And so that's kind of how that started. It's been an interesting journey so far. I will say that. I'll say interesting. I'm grateful to be here today and doing, for the most part, okay. I mean, one day at a time, But yeah, it's been, so I do feel support from my friends and my family, but not from doctors, I would say. There's a few, but I'm working on that, one day at a time.
Yeah, there are a couple of doctors that she is seeing, and I'm happy with them.
Mm-hmm.
Very happy, and otherwise, being supported from both families, I think it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful, and there was no judgment in getting into a relationship with Victoria at all. And
it's little things to me like that. Most people, a typical or a normal, I don't know, I don't want to use the word normal, wouldn't understand. Of like, some days all I can do is get out of bed and lay on the couch. Like, if you don't know the spoon theory, we'll share that with you now. So basically, everyone starts off with 6 spoons in a day. For most people, getting up, getting dressed, taking a shower, brushing their hair and teeth takes 1 spoon. For me, each thing is a spoon. I'm so exhausted. Everything is draining. So you can understand from that simple example that getting out of bed is a spoon. Making breakfast is a spoon. Brushing my teeth is a spoon. Brushing my hair is a spoon. So by the time it's 9 a.m., I'm already exhausted. So sometimes I just lay on the couch. That's literally all I can do.
Right.
Sometimes I do have good days and I can do more, but finding someone that understands that and supports that is key.
That's right. And if you want to get into a relationship with somebody with a disability, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. I don't like the word disability at all, and
Yeah.
I
Differently
went,
abled.
yeah, right. I don't like the word disability. With my job, I did talk to a couple of teachers that they probably should, or somebody should obsolete the word disability.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
um, yeah, but yeah, just spoon theory, I believe that as well because when I had the surgery, it
Right.
took
He
a lot.
understood exactly where I was coming from then.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shower tonight, and
That's it.
no, I didn't take a shower. I took one tonight, but obviously when all this began, I just said, nope, not gonna
Yeah.
happen. And so you really need to understand the spoon theory and get to know your partner's um, disabilities. And again,
Absolutely.
we gotta find something for
Well,
that.
and the thing that's important to note about the spoon theory as well is that everybody starts with 6, for an example. I use 5 by 10 a.m., let's say. Then I'm going in the negative. So I start off tomorrow in the negative. It's not like, so now instead of having 6 tomorrow morning, I'm -4 or whatever. So, and you never catch up. So it's always exhausting.
Yeah, example, last Saturday, a week ago today, I really don't know what really caused it. We have a theory, but we're not going to share that. But she really didn't do anything at all. She just lay on the couch all day. And we know part of the issue is with the loss of her nephew, but there was something else going on. And so she just laid all day.
Yeah. Which is some days that's all I can do, unfortunately. I then feel guilty about that, of course, as one does. I'm really trying to be kind to myself, as you all should be kind to yourself, and just take a deep breath and know that tomorrow starts over, and tomorrow, even if you only do 1 or 2 things, that's okay. It's something. So let's all be kind to ourselves.
Exactly right.
All right, so I actually had a question that I wrote in the comments as well. What's your favorite thing and least favorite thing about being in a differently or interabled relationship? I'll let Matt start.
To be honest, I think it's when the same thing happens over and over again, and you tend to, and again, it's when you're really learning. You think maybe the doctor's missed something, and you think something else will fix it. It doesn't fix it.
And that's your least or favorite. That's your least favorite part?
That's right.
And what's your favorite part?
The love that you have for everybody. And when I had the surgery, she was above and beyond. She went above and beyond with the whole family and her family was very supportive. And we won't mention any names. One of her family members actually drove all the way.
We'll mention names. Carrie, shout out my sister Carrie. She drove up that night that he had surgery, which was such. It was so nice having somebody there. His parents were there as well, but it was nice having my sister there with me because we really had no clue what was going on. So it was nice feeling the support of family then.
Yeah.
And that was really in the beginning of our relationship too. It was really early on.
I was only about a month and a half to 2 months at the very most. And she drove up when she could, and she was with me when she could. And what I think is even more beautiful is that she started living with me. Of course, I can live by myself, but having her here makes it more comfortable and
makes his parents feel better. Makes my mom feel better. My sister, it's just scary when you go through such a traumatic event to then be alone.
Right.
Like, what if something happens again, or
Right.
it's scary.
Right. But it's just over the last couple of months, we just love living together. It's just it. I think it was God's plan.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So my least favorite and my favorite. Well, I'm going to start off with my least favorite to get the negative out of the way. It's something I've mentioned already, but just that I feel bad holding him back. Like for example, we recently went to Madison with my sister and her husband Jamal and my brother Jamal, and I felt like I was holding all them back from walking around and really like going on a hike, but they always have to think of me and that I can't walk that much. And so it's, I need to be kind to myself and not let myself feel bad about that, because they're always like, no, it's okay, like we'll go at your pace. But I am struggling with that, and I will work on that. That will get better, I'm sure, over time, but I just don't want to hold anybody back. My favorite thing, I don't know that I have a favorite thing besides he's my favorite thing. He's amazing. He loves me for me. He doesn't see me for my disability at all. I could cry. I have tears in my eyes right now. I'm just so appreciative of him. He treats me the same as he would treat anybody else. Very kind, thoughtful, which I really appreciate. All right, so now we have a question from Aunt Jackie. Let's see, Aunt Jackie, if you get really frustrated with your partner, how would you handle it? I'll let you go first. So first of all, I will say this. We do not fight. We have gotten a little frustrated maybe with each other, but he'll give you his answer on how he handles that.
Well, we just basically talk about it and just try to work a way around it. That's basically what we do.
I would agree with that answer completely. Because obviously we're different people. We grew up different. We have different responses to things. So we just say, whoa, like I didn't mean to upset you, or you didn't mean to upset me. How can we resolve this so in the future this doesn't happen again?
Right.
And it's really been helpful that we do that. That we're open and we're not just like kind of hiding and say, no, I'm fine, when no, you're not really fine. So.
Right.
All right. Here's another question from Mom of 3 fur babies. How would you handle any disagreement to prevent an argument? It's kind of the same, but different. So I'll let you start that one.
Again, it's just really talking it out, really. Just talk it out.
Absolutely. Use your words, as we say to kids, use your words.
Yeah.
Maybe take a breather if you have to, go in a different room, or, go on your phone for a few seconds. Just relax. It'll be fine. It's not that serious. That's what I would say, for sure.
Right.
All right. Aunt Roxanne commented and said, what advice would you give to someone just starting out in a relationship? So if you're in a typical relationship, I hate to use that word, but I would just say be kind, be thoughtful, treat others how you want to be treated. The old, words that everybody says, but that's truly what it is. If he was differently abled, he treats me how he would want to be treated. Or if you had a child that was, it's kind of that same. I would just say, be patient. Remember, it's not that serious,
Right.
Take a deep breath, count to 10.
Yeah, and get to know each other.
Well, and that was the nice thing about us, is because we technically started off as friends, and he was out of town and I don't remember what I was doing at the time, but we had a lot of phone conversations. We talked on the phone for hours, and we just got to know what our everything is. I think that's really important, to get to know your person, know what they like, what they don't like, and, that's a good start.
Yeah, what I think also helped is that Facebook dating has, on what to say, eHarmony or Match.com, they had this whole slew of questions to answer. And when I saw her profile, not only did I say she's gorgeous, but her profile and her information, including her disabilities, that were listed, it matched what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I did not, so I saw the disabilities, but I just basically saw through it. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, I just liked her for who she was, and then eventually, and out of the blue, yeah, we have some theories on how this happened.
Mm-hmm.
We just fell in love, and we think
Mm-hmm.
it's her sister Erin and her nephew Kevin.
Mm-hmm. In heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And God, of course. We're
Of
so
course.
grateful for God for bringing us together. And
Exactly.
I truly believe he's my soulmate, and he believes the same. So I think,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so this is from your cousin, right?
I believe that is my cousin. I believe so.
All right, so the first question, she has 2 questions. It says, do you have any concerns about potential stigma or judgment from others regarding your relationship? I think that's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been around disabled people all the time, and I see a lot of it. And but for us, I basically just ignore it. And if it's something that is wanted some attention, then I will say, if you don't understand it, or if you don't have any respect towards the disability, then maybe you need to move on.
So I obviously have a different aspect to that. I how can I say this nicely? Especially when meeting his family or meeting people, that he cares about, I always worried that they would maybe think he could find somebody better than me, somebody that he could work out with, or, I mean, we work out together, but like that he could go for walks or do things he likes to do. So that was a concern of mine, that they would think you could find somebody better. That is a stigma. That is a concern, of course, but no, that's not the case. We were meant to be together. We know that now. So, but that is a stigma. That is something that has crossed my mind several times when meeting different family members. But they've all treated me like I'm typical, which I appreciate. All right, and then last question, I believe, at least on TikTok, is how do you identify with your disability, and how important is it to discuss it openly? That's actually a really good question. So I will, of course, answer that. So again, my disability has to do with my pituitary or lack of thereof one. So kind of the long and short of it is that your body, the pituitary controls several different parts of your body. And because I don't have one, then I have to take prescriptions to kind of cover for those things, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Like my body doesn't naturally produce calcium. Therefore, I have osteoarthritis. I have a few other kinds of arthritis. I've had a knee replacement because of that. And I have chronic pain. I mean, it is a part of it. So I think, I've grown to not hate it about me. I am the way I am. This is the way God made me. And, I do think it's important to discuss it so I don't feel alone. I've obviously grown up with this and lived with this my whole life, or my whole adult life. But it is difficult. It's not fun. It's not something I would wish upon my greatest enemy. But we talk about it a lot. We talk about it with people we care about, just so that they know that I'm not choosing to be like this. I think it's important to say that. I'm not choosing to walk with a cane. Trust me, I would much rather not. I'm not choosing to have so much pain in my body that I can't move for a day, And I think that's super important to talk about, because people that maybe don't understand or don't know would just assume that. And of course, we don't want that. So, but yeah, great questions. We really appreciate all the questions. I'm going to quick check Instagram to see if there's any on there. Any other topics you wanted to discuss?
Well, there's just one thing I wanted to bring up, and that is called, I got to think about it for a second. It's, I believe, it's actually called, what do we call that? I can't think of it right now. It's sitting on the tip of my tongue right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of the friends I have on Instagram have talked about it as well. And it's, I believe, what do they call that?
I don't know what you're trying to think of.
It's a big one, a very big one. And it's something that needs to be discussed somehow. Well, let me think about it. And,
yeah, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
So we did get more questions on Facebook. So if you are interested, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. My personal Facebook is where it was shared. So my mom wanted to know what exactly does it mean, which we have talked about that. Hopefully we answered all the questions on that. It's kind of confusing for us as well. But we're one day at a time. Let's see. Your mom also asked, do you feel you have enough help from your communities and medical staff? That's a good question, and I don't. I would say no to that.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. I would say having an illness with a list of symptoms this long, and again, you can only bring up a few at an appointment, or feeling like not that I would self-diagnose, I don't mean that, but I mean, of course I'm going to look into it or have my family look into it and feel like you finally figured out what you could have. You go to the doctor and they're like, absolutely not. They don't even want to listen to you. They don't want to hear anything you have to say. They think they know better. So one of the symptoms of my illness is, or my disability, if you will, is I can't have kids. So I haven't had a period. I hope this isn't TMI, but haven't had a period since I was 17 years old. So obviously I can't have children. Well, I went to an endocrinologist when I was in my late 20s, I would say, who said, what are you talking about? You can have kids. And I'm like, first of all, first time I met him, you don't know my body. I obviously know my body more than you do. And no, I cannot have children. You have to have a period, of course. So
Yeah, that's right.
it's just really frustrating having people think they know more about your body than you do. So let's see what else. Somebody asked what my disability is, so I'll kind of break it down. It's called, what is it called? It's a really long name that I can never remember. But I can tell you that I have spondyloarthritis in my back, which is terrible, very painful. So all the places I'll tell you I have pain in my body are my back, my hips, my pelvis, my knees, back, hips, pelvis, knees. I think that's it. And recently, because of the lack of calcium in my body, even though I take supplements, it's never enough to equal the same amount that my body would produce. I was diagnosed with basically the pelvis bone is like this, and there's like a little piece of cartilage in between. And this typically happens in pregnant women. Obviously, I'm not pregnant, I can't have kids, but it's like wearing away, and it causes extreme pain. Like, I'm talking 10 out of 10 pain, and he just rubs my belly all the time. And it's really the only thing that helps. It's just having arthritis. They said that's what happens. So, but I will get more specific information about what my disability is, and I will explain that in episode 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's so part of that. What she was talking about rubbing her belly is also mostly for her pelvis.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Pubis symphysis, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give you more specific. I'll even maybe show the x-ray of my pubis bone, so you can see the gash. I don't know, that might be too TMI, but we'll see. If you're interested, let us know in the comments below. But I think that's all we have for our first episode. So please, if you have any more questions, comment them down below. Please like this video. And check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We really appreciate you. We've had a lot of fun getting this podcast ready. There will be an episode 2 coming soon. We don't know exactly when, but we will keep you informed and let you know.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
And I cannot think of what the term was I was going to talk about, but it has something to do with really basically being critical of the person with a disability. And a lot of the people that I've been friends with on Instagram talk about it all the time. For whatever reason, maybe it's 'cause I'm getting old, I can't remember what they called it. But it's just another form of
It's kind of like bullying, right?
bullying and criticizing someone. And
okay.
yeah, I can't think of the word right now, but
We'll figure it out for episode 2.
yeah, we definitely will.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you.
You're
the best.
Have a good night.
Make sure to comment below.
Yeah, and have a good
Give
night.
us a thumbs up.
Thank you.